right after a couple outings to the mound. The manager, Dave Roberts, says he's not concerned. We don't believe him. Columbus Blue Jackets have acquired Matt Duchene from Ottawa for a 2019 first-round draft pick and a couple top prospects. And New Englander Robert Kraft facing charges of soliciting prostitution in Florida. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Business show brought by Capital One. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, alongside me, Harry Glantz.
Welcome back, Harv. Good morning.
Hey, thanks, Harry. It was fun.
Well-rested vacation last week. You look good. You're tan. You're smart. You're good.
I had to warm up the bones a little bit, but definitely a little break here, and I hope, welcome back. I hope everyone's listening. So 248-539-9797. We want to hear from you. We bring in this morning Lisa Lawson from our office.
Morning. How are you?
Lisa, I tell everyone you're my right-hand lady. Of course you are.
That?
You are the person who gives me all those. Hey, Lisa, I forgot. What is that exactly? And you always know.
I appreciate that.
Good.
She does her homework.
She knows more than I know.
She does her
of course.
homework.
And she brings in some great guests. Of course, always back with us, Douglas Andrews from the Keller Williams office at Lakeside. Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Good morning, Harvey. How are you guys?
Fantastic. You bring this handsome gentleman, Dave McLean. Dave, you're back for your fourth or fifth time here.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Real estate expert, of course. You guys have one of the largest Keller Williams office in the country, right here in our own backyard, of course, all on the Macomb area. And, of course, you guys are always knocking it out. We got tons to share with you all morning long. We're going to be talking about buying, selling, strategies, what's going on. Doug and I usually like to talk about the market shift, and it seems like there's been 2 or 3 shifts already. So we'll get into that a little bit and where we're headed for 2019. So welcome aboard, guys. Did I lose you guys?
No.
Nope, still here.
Already here.
Hey, what seems like a huge shift in the market, though, no doubt. It's really interesting out there, Doug. That's where I'm going with it. Is we're a couple days away from March already, so
Yep.
Spring's right around the corner. We're starting to talk about landscape and other things already. What did you see? You know, I didn't do so bad in December and January. We had buyers, and we're working out with a lot of pre-approved buyers. What did you see in the last 2 months?
Hey, we've again finished 2018 with a record year with over 2,700 closings, and that momentum of that type of business is just carrying over. January and so far February we're way ahead of 2018, and where we see more of a shift is in the higher end. Okay, it's been maybe a bigger part of the shift, but as you and I were talking earlier, just had a little house over in Warren, and we were talking about another one in Royal Oak, multiple offers overnight.
Yeah, multiple highest and best is words that we've used in the industry for now the last 5 years.
In that under 200,000 price point.
Exactly.
Yeah, the under 200 market is very, very hot. You're going to see multiple offers. We feel that. We're seeing that on the PAs that we're getting in our office right now. And, you know, for the end of February with the way the weather was and how the year started out, it's been very steady, going to strong now. We're less than 30 days away from the official spring day. But you know, and a little over a month away from opening day. So spring is not far, but, you know, there's activity now. And people are putting in bids. They're going out and seeing homes. And you know people are serious at this time. We talk about it. You guys are experts. It's always fun having you on the show. When people are listing their houses now or have their house on the market now, they're extremely serious. And when you have multiple offers, when you have buyers going in and out, especially on days like today that we've had, I mean, talk about that.
There's still buyers out there. Everybody thinks, so let's wait till the spring. It's my favorite. Let's wait till the spring. Well, wait till the spring, and then you might be competing with your neighbor next door.
Right.
Right now, you know, I was on a listing appointment the other day. Nothing active, nothing pending within a half-mile radius around this beautiful condo that I'm going to be listing. I said, let's get it on the market.
Hey, there's no reason to believe then, Dave, by waiting, they're going to net more funds necessarily.
No.
There is no reason.
No.
If you have no competition, you're in a better spot. I mean,
Right.
think about it.
So you got 20 buyers looking in that
Blind
sub,
them.
and then you get 5 houses in that sub on the market. Right now, there's only 1. You're
Right.
still going to have those 20 buyers looking.
Right. There could be a reason why all of a sudden that other unit down the street is more favorable. It could be $10,000 less, and the family wants to improve it their own way.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, different things come to play. This is a little opportunity, maybe. Maybe we're caught, Doug, in this 30-day window here between winter and spring, where if you are out there or thinking about it, that you're going to be aggressively shopping for a home this spring, that you start right now and make those offers now. Again, you might
You know what? We can tell. We track the hits that we get on our websites and different things. We know how many what I call showing lights, where people are shopping from their home. They're on their iPad, they're on their phone, they're driving the neighborhoods, and we can tell by how many hits we're getting on the different listings, the activity that's there. And so that's still way up, the number of people that are what I call window shopping from home, 30, 40 pictures of a home. That's a showing.
Yeah.
You know, and so people have to remember, if you're marketing your house today, if you don't have great photos,
Yep.
you're missing out. Right?
Yeah.
That's number one.
I like it. You actually basically called the pictures on the internet. That's a real showing nowadays.
Yeah,
you know,
it
it's
is.
not, you don't have to
Especially
open
the
the lock.
videos that they have nowadays. There's literally like walkthrough videos, and you can see everything that you want to see. You get a real feel how things are in the amount of space that you're going to have and the flow of the home. And there's a lot of people who do that first before they even bother going to see it.
Yeah, the drones have done some
Yeah.
incredible things for the real estate market.
Was just having a conversation about the drones. Marketing in real estate is taking it's been a monumental shift. All right, it's not just throw it in the multi-list anymore and there you go. No, the pictures, the staging, making everything look right, maybe redoing certain things in the house to go ahead and make it, show a lot better. Removing things from the house, droning it.
Right.
Okay, whatever you have to do to make your property stand out, and that's what you guys talk about. All right, you guys talk about that. Now, talk about listings at this time of year. You get it, we get it at the end of the year. We'll wait till after the first of the year to talk to you guys about shopping for a house and getting pre-qualified. What you guys are probably hearing right now is people, before they list their house, they have to go ahead and clean it up. They have to do some things. So what you're hearing is, hey, we got some things we got to take care of. We got to move some stuff out of the basement or all that kind of stuff. Talk about that a little.
I think that's why my sellers like me. I'm
You're pretty
quote
blunt.
unquote brutally honest. Like,
I've
listen,
heard that
this is your
time or
home.
two
It's
in my
beautiful.
life.
It's beautiful to me. It's beautiful to you. But
Correct. It's a
we need to
critical-
remove all the stuff off the kitchen counter so the buyers can see the kitchen counter. We need to move some things. We need to adjust a little bit. If they're moving out first, fine. Then maybe leave a few things that to stage the home, just to make it that the buyers can picture themselves living in it, but not overcrowded. So
That's where, the HGTV has been the best thing for us because it's teaching people what they need to do. Everybody's become addicted to the DIY, do-it-yourself, and HGTV. Well, I say, have you ever watched HGTV? That's how we got to make your house look.
There you go. Make it. Yeah,
Let's go through a room-by-room punch list.
I spent an hour with my seller the other day. I hired a professional photographer to come out and take photos of one of my listings. And me and the wife were in the basement for the hour while the photographer was upstairs. They're getting ready to move. And so in the basement, they had everything all together, in an area, but you couldn't really see their beautiful finished basement. Oh. So we're hauling everything into the storage room to hide it all.
You guys are down there working.
Take the pictures.
Just because, and not to hide anything, just so we can showcase the home
the way
as the buyer would want to see it, so they can see themselves throwing a family party in that basement.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I can attest to Dave because you sold my best friend's house.
Oh yes,
and that needed a little bit more TLC. We're going to say that nicely, and he was brutally honest and said, these are the things that we need to get done. This is the things you have to get built. And
I said, if you have $5,000, then I can get you 15 for that.
There you go. That's
and
good.
he did.
And we did it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that we'll talk about a little bit too this morning, Lisa. Is, do you take a little bit of money and you invest it back in your house, and to me, you'll net more money out of it. And it happened in the real estate world. You guys, everyone think, oh, you guys make so much money. Yeah, the home prices went up, and you get paid a commission on the price of the home. But then again, now you guys are spending more money to stage these homes.
Oh, for sure.
Most of the agents are coming out of pocket for some of the staging, the really nice videos.
Photography is anywhere from $250 to $500.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're having done.
Right. Now you guys are maybe netting a little bit more money on the transaction because the values have gone up, but on the other hand, you're spending more money to help families market these homes properly. It's great
my
stuff.
seller the most amount of money in the shortest period of time.
Right.
There you go.
And sometimes you have to spend a little money to make more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we see that so often. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you. Let's start sliding the conversation into a little bit of the inventory. It's always about supply and demand. Those are very, very big words in the real estate world. And we're sort of on standby here, so I think it is a great opportunity. We talk about this maybe 30-day window now that you might avoid some competition out there in the marketplace. So be sure to call us at Capital Mortgage Funding. Get that strong approval letter and really have your game on. Get your game all set up. Have your process. Have your education. Everything needed so you're ready to go and make that offer, because what's going to happen again is if you've got a house to sell, now you're contingent. Find out if you can qualify, and I'm starting to get the calls now. Can they qualify without selling their existing home? Because that is always the scary thing that we talk about, is that timing. And I got the call earlier this week, hey, Harvey, we're going to move from Oxford. We're thinking about coming down a little bit towards Royal Oak. How do we do this? It's timing. It's having a lot of professional people. And when we come back, we'll talk all about that and a whole lot more. 248-539-9797.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Ooh, yeah. I kind of like that jivey music. All right, welcome back, everyone. If you're just tuning in, this is the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, and I'm amongst the rock stariest of the rock stars, Amber Eklund and Chris Dayton of the Dayton Group of Realtors. Welcome back, everyone. Before the break, we were talking about how hot the real estate market is continuing to just increase, which is obviously showing signs of another seller's market, right? And Chris was bringing up that term seller's market kind of gets thrown loosely around, where sellers have this idea where, well, I'm just going to throw my house up for $30,000 above what what it might be worth, just to see if I get the best offer. And I kind of wanted you to elaborate a little bit on that, because it's kind of needs some toning down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to fall into that trap and just say, hey, it's a seller's market, this is going to be easy. When I would actually say the market right now is tricky, and it's a little sophisticated, honestly.
Okay.
That's why you need professionals. And Amber's she's all pro at this. She's great at pricing.
She is fantastic.
So, I mean,
her
Amber,
eyebrows are great too, but she's
best eyebrows in real estate.
I remember that from the last show. Those eyebrows are killing me.
It's still
and
true, Harry.
they're still good, still good.
eyebrows sell houses. Eyebrows matter.
Eyebrows do matter. So Amber, I lost all my train of thought there.
Yeah,
sorry
all
about
I can
that.
think about is making eyebrows great again.
So I'm a pricing pro.
But you're a pricing pro, and you see it all the time when we talk to our clients that they want to price it over the market, and they're just hoping for the best. But there's that domino effect too that comes into play, where someone's selling and then they need to go buy, and they need people who can manage through that process, right?
Yeah, I mean, people, it's so hard not to think about that extra $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, right? Like, you already have it spent in your head as a seller. So if I bring it down, really, we do this every day. So sometimes we forget that we're throwing around terms and verbiage that people don't use every day.
It's the doctor talk that they don't understand. It's easy to get confused. What's an EMD mean? What is this? And we take it for granted. But yeah,
and we really slow it down. Even with people who have sold multiple times or bought multiple times, I still slow it down and tell them the process. And the best analogy I ever have is people want to start way up high because they're willing to land here. They want to negotiate down. Mm-hmm. And I tell them, if we price your house perfectly for where it is in the market today, based on your location, the features and benefits of your home, what your average neighborhood house is going for, I pull the comps purposely the way an appraiser does, and I show them everything, and I say, we're going to go in here correctly, and then it's going to bring more buyers in. That's supply and demand.
Right.
Otherwise, we see these houses that are awesome houses that people should be out there buying, but they're sitting, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, which is just a little long for our market right now. But they were great, but they were probably priced too high, need to be marketed a little better. They might need better photos, because it's almost like when you see something on sale. I want that hot new outfit when it's on the mannequin, but when I have to start going through the racks,
of the Detroit Red Wings.
The Detroit Red Wings host the San Jose Sharks at Little Caesars Arena tomorrow at 3. And 97.1 The Ticket Street Team and Ticket Chicks will be there before the game starting at 1:30. Brought to you by the Michigan Lottery's $2 10 times the cash $2 instant game. Multiply your winnings up to 10 times. There's exceptional fun in every one. Get your seats now. Call 313-471-7575 or visit DetroitRedWings.com for your tickets to any Red Wings home game. Get more at 971theticket.com.
The only way you can take 97.1 The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
97.1 The Ticket.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show, 916. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you can find us all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Definitely looking forward to your calls here as we're diving into home buying season here. And let's go out to Zach. Zach, you got a great question here. Adding an addition versus buying a new home. That's always a great one. Where do you live? Where do you live now?
We live in White Lake.
Oh, great. I was out there actually yesterday. We had a closing. And, when you love your neighborhood, tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are.
Well, that's the thing. I really do love my neighborhood, especially our lot. We've got a private lot, woods in the back. And the school district is great and everything.
Just need more space for kids? Or
Pardon me?
Just wanting more space for children or growing family?
No, more for ourselves. The previous owners put a bonus room behind our garage, but they used a quarter of the garage to make a mud room to access it.
Okay.
So from the front, I have, from the facade, it's a 2-car garage, but when you open it up, it's more like lawn tractor car.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you looking to do then?
Are you trying to make it another 2-car back to 2-car garage, or what's your game plan?
Yeah. So I work for a construction company, and we talked about it, and I could put an extension on the garage and a master above the garage for about $150,000.
Ooh. I thought you were going to. I honestly thought you were going to tell me like 40 or 50,000.
Yeah.
How many square feet is your house right now, and how many square feet are you going to add to it?
Our house is, I think, about 1,900 now. I think we'd add about 800, I think.
Okay. So just so I understand, you're you don't right now have a full 2-car garage. It was semi-converted, right?
Yeah, to the
Correct.
back.
It's a garage and a half-ish.
Yeah. So that part's
the garage out, like 15 feet.
I like the idea. If you like where you're staying at, Dave, here, he likes where he's living. If you like where you're living, you're excited about it. I'm just trying to figure out why is that? It sounds like it costs too much money.
Well, and you're going to be there for a very long time. It's going to cost about $200 a square foot to add it on.
Okay.
And my only thing is, what's the difference in an appraised value for a 1-car and a 2-car garage?
And
you're not going to get that kind of money, even with the additional 800 square foot. If you're looking to stay in the area, I'm going to say, and that's the home that you love and you're going to be in forever,
do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for return on investment,
yeah, if you're going to be there a long time, you like the area, like Lisa said, it's a lifestyle move and it's something that you want to do, and you're going to be there for a while, then I would have to say yes. Yeah. If you're looking to go ahead and throw $200 a square foot and get out of the house within 3 to 7 years, I don't think you're going to get your ROI is going to be a little bit lower.
And without knowing what when you bought, what you paid for it, what homes are going for in your exact area, say you bought
it really low.
You did. Okay.
There you go.
So I fixed it up. So I only have about $75,000 into this house.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So maybe adding 150 to it, you're at 225. But then if homes in your area are going between 2 and 3, then it might not be a bad investment, along with helping your lifestyle out, obviously, too. Because I tell you what, a selling feature, having the garage is a selling feature.
Yeah. That's
you know
a big
what I mean? It's just my personal view. I like keeping my car in the garage also.
Dave,
but,
if it was me, and Zach, if it was me, one of the first things I think I would do is call the local real estate agent who help me buy it, or whoever has the expertise, and just to see what 2,700 square foot homes similar to that would sell for in today's marketplace. And at the end of the day, those numbers are going to tell us whether or not to move forward.
Even if you're not even thinking about selling, you can just call us up. I'd love coming over and seeing what the home looks like and give you an idea of what it's worth now, what it would be worth when that does happen, because the home's comparable 2 years at this current time, what they're selling for, and then
okay.
Sounds like you might have a bunch of equity in the home if you did buy it, real cheap.
Zach, I like your question. It's definitely got us thinking here a little bit. And always, you want to find out what's going on in the neighborhood. That way, you can compare your final product to what's currently going on and see if that's going to be financially reasonable. Harry's throwing out ROIs and stuff. That's good stuff, Harry.
Yes.
The return on investment obviously does play a part. So for anyone out here who's doing the home improvements, definitely. I think, Dave, do you think it's a great strategy? You're thinking about adding a square footage addition.
Yeah.
Find out what that square footage is going to be compared to what's going on in your neighborhood.
For sure. And I think, getting that garage back is definitely, well, for sure, I know it is a selling feature.
Yeah, right. It sounds like they
having
might
that
have
garage back.
Right. So, like, if it's a 20 or 24 by 24 garage, it sounds like they cut the wall where you know what I'm saying.
looks like
Sure,
it
where you
cut it
can't
in
put
half,
anything in there, but
Right. So it turned it to a 1.5 car, so like a garage and some space on the side.
there you go. Turn that back to a 2-car garage. We like
Yeah,
that
definitely.
call. 248-539-9797. Definitely want to hear from you. At least one of the things that we run into as clients call for pre-approvals is funds to close.
Correct.
So many families out there, whether you're young or old, they're not working with a whole lot of money. And of course, the MSHDA program is fantastic. Just tell us a little bit about what's left there. I know we got the 2 different programs.
Yep, there's a couple different programs. The one Step Forward, which is the one that everyone's been talking about with all the buzz, has $3.3 million left. That gives $15,000 of forgivable down payment assistance if you're buying a home within 61 zip codes that they identify. People are freaking out. They're like, we're going to run out of money. I can't find a house in time. That's okay, because the $7,500 program is there and is going to remain there. Nothing's happening with that. It's been around forever, and it's going to continue. So if you can't take advantage of the Step Forward, you can always take advantage of the My First or My Flex.
Yeah, and those, of course, have no zip code limits on them, which is really
limits.
cool.
Yep, there is obviously some income limits because it's MSHDA. That's what it's there for. But yeah, you can buy anywhere in the state of Michigan.
I think a lot of people didn't even know about the original MSHDA program,
Correct.
the 75,
Absolutely.
So they're freaking out about this money going away. It's like, well, hey,
Well, it's
kind of
really
been there
funny.
for a
I
while.
got a call earlier this week, and they said, my son lives in Florida. Can he use the MSHDA program? I said, no, it's MSHDA.
Michigan State House.
But here's the thing. If you do have people out of state, most out of states have their own
Bond program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Own bond program. They may have slightly different guidelines, but
So, Lisa,
every
what's
state
the
has it.
maximum income amount?
Depends on the family size and where they're living.
Right.
So if you have a 2-family, like in Macomb, it's $70,900. But if you're like out in Washtenaw County and you've got a 5-person, you could be over $100,000 easy. But it depends on family size and where it's living. What those limits are.
So people have to remember when they're looking for those first-time home buyer programs that there are some caveats. There's some income limitations on there. And there are other programs they could qualify for.
Correct.
There's, if you don't qualify for MSHDA, maybe qualify for an FHA transaction. That's
Possibly. But there's other down payment assistance. Everyone knows MSHDA, but there's the National Faith Home Buyers Program. There are other programs within cities. So just because you think, oh my gosh, I got my income tax return, I thought it was going to be $8,000, it's only $5,000, and I'm going to be short $3 or $4 grand. Obviously concessions, not that they don't happen, but it's never a guarantee. There are other programs out there and available. So talk to an experienced loan officer who's familiar with all these programs and can help get you in.
There you go. Great advice. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you. Again, if you're looking at buying or selling a house. And more importantly, if you got those woes coming in from the overspending over the holidays, I have done quite a few debt consolidation loans. A lot of reasons to refinance your house still with interest rates ticking back a little bit here. They were headed up, of course, late November and December, and it looked like we were just going to continuously trend upwards. But we got a little break, and this gives us a little opportunity maybe to consolidate some debt. Again, add your first and your second mortgage together, pay off credit card debt, student loans. A lot of folks out there are sitting down doing their tax returns. Words out on the street with the CPAs are families are not getting as much back, and some families now owe money. So again, not that we want you to use your house as a piggy bank, but we want you to do the right thing for your family. And again, financially, a lot of times, whether you could set up a payment plan with the IRS or not, if you have the money, equity in your house, keep your cash flow positive, do the right thing. Yeah. Sometimes just paying a little bit higher on the interest rate, you get to write off your mortgage interest deduction. So that's a really key thing. Again, 248-539-9797. Understanding the offer, Dave, it's something I always like to talk about. The different purchase agreements that are out there. Doug, of course, this is part of your expertise, too. Again, you got FHA, conventional loans. But the purchase agreement, there's words and language you can put in the purchase agreement to make your offer stand out and make it a little stronger than the other ones.
Oh, definitely. The amount down, bringing in certain competitive situations, bringing money over in appraised value or offering more than what the home is listed for.
Right.
But yeah, when I sit down with my sellers, when I receive offers on a home, going through them all and putting them in order of strongest to weakest and, highest. I've said it every other time I've been on this show is the highest offer is not always the best offer.
Right, especially this time of year, you might want to hold off until the kids, or maybe accept an offer, but understanding that you're not going to move out till after the kids are out of school.
Yep.
So a lot of these things come into play. All right, we got tons to share with you here. Come on back and join us, 248-539-9797.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Yeah, I'm digging the music today. Welcome back, everybody. Becky Alley here with Chris Dayton, Amber Eklund, and Mr. Harry J. Glange. This is a hardcore mortgage show, and we're getting pretty fired up. If you're not tuning in on the radio, you really should be checking us out on Facebook Live, because it's a party in here during the breaks, and you guys are missing it. So there's that.
Always a party with you.
All right, so we got a caller. We're going to go to the phone lines. We got Tom from Ypsilanti, and he's actually looks like he has some questions about preparing to sell his home. So, hey, Tom, how are you? Hello, Tom.
We there?
Oh, okay. We're trying to get him connected there. So he's looks like he's actually going to be topping up on the topic as far as preparing your home, and what Amber was checking on or talking about right before the break about how you have those pre-listing photos.
Yeah, so a really important thing for people who are trying to get into a home, but they don't want to list their home because they don't want it to sell before they find their home. We're going in early. We're getting all the photos done. We're getting all the consultations done. We're signing all the paperwork so that when we do go find that home, instead of it just being a contingent offer, so again, instead of it looking weaker because you have to sell your home first, I'm able to go to that listing agent and say, hey, not only are we ready to go, but check out these photos, check out my listing. It's already set to go live, and I know that this is going to sell in a heartbeat. So it's me just going to bat for my clients.
Well, yeah, you're anticipating that next move, so therefore you're not going to have that delay. So that's huge. So looks like Tom is ready for us, and we're ready for him. Hey, Tom, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Hooray.
Oh, hey. My question has to do with preparing a house for sale. We're selling my mom's house, who passed away in November, so nobody's living there right now. It was built in '63, so it has hardwood floors throughout. Most of them are covered with carpeting.
Yeah.
And we're kind of going back and forth of whether or not we need to rip up the carpeting to prepare it for sale. What's best is, should we have those hardwood floors available for prospective buyers, or can we just tell them that there's hardwood floors underneath? They're pretty much virgin hardwood floors.
How's the condition of the carpet?
It could probably, if I were living there, I'd probably be replacing it.
Then tear it out and leave the hardwood floors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I need to have the hardwood floors redone, or just is it a simple, dusting of it?
Well, you're going to have to take a look at that. And I will tell you this, throughout the 1960s, what they did was the flooring that they prepped the houses with for carpeting to put over were very beautiful hardwood floor, planked hardwood floors.
Pay big money for that stuff now.
Yeah, and I know that because I grew up in one of those houses. And, you take up that carpeting, and it's going to be determined. I'll let, Amber answer the question in more depth, but you're going to have to determine what the shape of that floor is in. But you might want to take in one of the smaller rooms, take up
maybe like a closet.
Yeah, take up the carpeting and expose that hardwood floor, and it's going to be a gem what you find underneath there. I don't think you're going to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom, first I want to say I'm really sorry to hear about your mom, because we have to deal with that a lot in our industry, and it's not an easy thing that you're going through. But what I have found with homes that we've had to sell for this reasoning, like you said, if the carpet is not in super great condition and it's not going to cost you anything to just rip it out, I would. Now, as far as refinishing the floors, I always warn my sellers against putting any money into the house, because what I would want to see first and foremost, Tom, is what the rest of the features and benefits look like in the house to see if it's worth it, because sometimes it's just enough to show that there's hardwood floors and that people know, like, hey, if I already have to paint and I already have to maybe fix up some hardware or do some updates, I'll just
Right, welcome back to the show, 931. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 19-plus season here on the radio. We appreciate all of you listening. Definitely give Capital Mortgage a call. Get that strong approval letter. Get your mortgage handled the right way. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker here. And always in the studio, 248-539-9797. Got some great guys always. Dave McLean and Doug Andrews in from the Keller Williams office, Lakeside. You guys do a great job. We got so much information to share with families on different strategies. And just off the air, we were just talking about, this time of year tends to lead to different things on purchase agreements. And I said, what do you do? You can't turn the air conditioner on. If there's a pool in the backyard, you don't know if it's functioning. These things could cost a couple $1,000. The whole air conditioning unit could be blown out.
And Doug brought up a good point when we just
he solved it with $400 answer.
Home warranties
done.
We work with a local Michigan company, America's Preferred Home Warranty, and they're limited warranties. They're not going to carte blanche everything, but it's going to cover most of the routine things that go wrong when you're selling or buying hot water tanks, dishwashers, heating and air conditioning. Those type of things. Pools are a little bit different.
Okay.
And depending upon the situation and how the pools are maintained, the age of the pool, yes, we do hold escrows for the springtime to have it fired up. Okay. That will happen sometimes.
Yeah, there's certain things that you have to hold in escrow right now. And this time of year, because it's weather related, we always run into that.
Yep.
The experienced agents understand that. Okay, so there's never a problem when somebody says, okay, we have to escrow for certain things weather related. Now, I'll tell you also off the air, we're talking about what's going on in our market. What's going on in our market right now, unlike certain areas of the country, our market has seen, it's going to be very steady this spring throughout the summer, if not an increase in home sales. That's a revised estimate of what was taking place last December. When December was dead and the first week of January was pretty slow here. Everything's picked up now. It seems everything's in full force. People are getting an early start to spring. And what you're seeing is it's busy. The purchase agreements are coming across your desk, our desk, and we're seeing a lot of volume and traffic in the market. So the Federal Reserve has really jinxed us. They came out and they said that they're not going to go ahead and raise the Fed funds rate. There's a little bit of slowdown in that thought process. So it's trending where rates are going to stay relatively stable. So I say, why does it jinx us? Because every time they come out and they say something, it goes the opposite way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so we're seeing that in conjunction with that, we're seeing a lot of buying activity on the market early in the year, which is revised. So revising our position is that we see it very strong and steady throughout the spring and the summer.
Yeah, Fannie Mae actually reduced a couple of their different indicators out there. Notable slowdown in the U.S. economy in the first quarter of 2019 has led them to drop back. But, drop back a little bit in the predicted sales is like 0.001. It's going to be a great year again. Definitely get your ducks in a row, and that's always very important. One of the things I talk about, too, Doug, and I think you guys both might want to comment on this, is effectively like families that are looking at downsize. We do have a lot of empty nesters. I'm even getting closer to where the kids would be through college and all that. And, yeah, families are looking at this, but can you still downsize and save money? Because you're looking at a new unit, and a lot of these our families are looking to downsize, Doug, and now they're in a condominium association fee of $350 to $400. You could downsize, but are you going to save money in your pocket?
Well, again, it's all about lifestyle, and what people their changes in their lifestyle, and they no longer need the 3,000 square foot house. They're using 4 rooms out of it.
They're not even going upstairs,
paying higher property taxes, and it's that lifestyle. Now they want to close the door and go. And quite often what they're looking for is, hey, I've got enough equity, or my home's free and clear. I want to buy something I can pay cash for and not have, that payment anyway.
Yeah, not even have the mortgage.
Not even have a mortgage. And the other side of the coin is, hey, do we downsize here, take this, and then buy a place up north, buy a place, so they got places in 2 places.
Or sell it and use equity to pay down debt, which is what I just had people do.
Exactly.
They downsized.
Exactly.
ended up with a giant chunk, paid off all of their credit cards, all their monthly payments, bought a new house. The payment is slightly less than what they were paying, but that wasn't the issue. They freed up about $1,200 a month in
Simplifying their
cash
life.
flow. Right.
But then back to that association due thing is, I was at just listing appointment the other day. This condo that the fee was $325. I want to say. It covers the outside maintenance.
Yes.
They re-roofed the place,
Yeah.
5 years ago. And like Doug said, you can close the door and walk away. At home, you got to be worried about your outside maintenance, your gardening, whatever. And this one in particular, and a lot of them do, is it included your water also.
Okay.
So any water you use inside the house, is all included in the association fee. So you pay that, you don't got to think about anything outside.
Right.
If you have an issue with your deck, and in this one, they cover it. They, re-strip and sand and
Or your driveway
stain the
needs to
decks
be
every year.
recorded. You're not worrying about it because it's association.
So, those fees to then be able to disappear to Florida for 3-4 months out of the year.
There you go.
Close the door, leave, and someone else is going to take care of the outside of the place.
Yeah.
All right, you got to tune to the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Definitely sponsored by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call live in the studio, 248-539-9797. Talking about association fees and stuff, Doug. Yeah, they cover water and gas, and you said the roof. And when you're buying one, though, there's some work to be done. Why not get a copy of that budget ahead of time? Find out if they they have these roof assessments that pop up all the time, or now we got a lot of paving. Of course, our roads are horrendous here in Michigan. So our subdivisions, and some of them have been really rough. You're starting to see as the market turned, and that's what I really loved about the last market turn, is I couldn't even drive through some subdivisions. I mean, it was pothole craziness. It looked like a war zone. And now you're seeing the crews out there. Last year, you saw quite a few of them where the subdivisions have said, look, we're reassessing you guys.
Yeah.
It's over 10 years, but it's going to cost you $2,500 a family, and we're going to repave our subdivision.
Yep, and before
that adds value.
Yep, and before you buy into a condo complex like that, you get your time frame to review the master deed and bylaws, and also their ledger. Look at how much money they have, what they're projecting, and if they have had any assessments for that roof or that pothole repairs or new whatever they're doing in that complex. So you can know what you're getting yourself into. If they only have $5,000 in the bank and they're planning on repaving the whole place and re-roofing 12 buildings, well,
it's going to cost you.
So explain that. I go to buy a house or a condo and there are special assessments and it comes on the title. Who's responsible? Am I responsible as the new buyer, or is the seller responsible? I mean, tell me how that works.
It depends on the bylaws of the condo. I've had it work both ways.
Yeah,
I've
the
had
answer
it
to the
where
question, right?
the
Go
person
ahead.
who purchased the home, just happened this past summer, had to pay the entire assessment for the paving. Some of them are transferable to the new owners. So it honestly depends how your association has written the bylaws, which is why it's important to get bylaws and budget.
And sometimes that can hold up a closing if it isn't figured out up front.
It
because sometimes
And
those
it can be an
assessments,
negotiable item in your purchase agreement.
those assessments that they do, they'll allow you can pay the whole chunk.
Right.
Say this year we're doing the roofs. Okay, each person's going to have $5,000 assessment, and you can pay your $5,000, or your monthly amount will go up by $150 a month. Or
There you
whatever.
go.
Right.
Well, what if I sell next year and I didn't pay my $6,000 assessment? It all depends, like Doug said, how the bylaws are written. So that am I responsible for it, even though I'm selling? I got to pay the rest of that up front before I close,
or you're not going to make.
Or is the buyer going to be able to take over my increased payment?
Recently had one where the current owners were paying a certain amount per month on that assessment, but if they sold during that time frame,
exactly,
they had to it had to be paid off at that time of transfer.
Should we help all the competition out there? So, as a listing agent, and I'm just a mortgage guy, but as a listing agent, you're listing a condo. Yes, you should have the master deed and bylaws out there ready to
condo,
go.
It's always sitting on the table for the agents to view when they're going through. I always have a copy.
And the financials.
Yep, and the financials. I always have a copy when I list it.
How about the name and number of the association? That we
for
could
sure.
always
And
make
a lot
call
of times,
there.
if the person's been in the condo for 10, 15 years, the copy that they have probably isn't the most updated one. So there's a lot of management companies that handle it, that then you get it, Metropolitan there's a whole bunch of different companies that manage all these different things. And websites, you can get them all on, that it's the most updated ones, because they could have revised it last year to no longer allow chain link fences or, certain things in subdivisions. So no more above ground pools or,
Another big deal, Dave, right now, there's certain cities where I just had one, original owner, been there since 91, and their taxes were capped.
Okay.
All right. Now, the uncapped adjustment was taking it from 4,000 to almost 7.
Wow. That's a big surprise.
For a buyer, they need to know that up front. If I'm representing a buyer, you need to do that homework, because they hate that surprise. Believe me, as their agent, they're not going to like you very much
if you don't tell them
next year, because they're not aware of that adjustment that's going to happen.
That's going to happen,
Yeah, and that always comes up. Taxes come up all the time when we talk about on our closing documents.
It's
people
change.
want to know why. they're either assessed too high or too low, or what we're escrowing for. And these subjects always come up. And to go ahead and put it in more simple language, is that it's an estimate. When we go ahead and we set up the escrow account as best as we can with the most accurate information that's available at the time.
Right.
That doesn't mean that come December, come July, you're not going to get an assessment that's higher. Okay?
Yep.
It used to be, back in the bad days, they'd come lower. Everybody'd say, they'd be waiting for it, and then they would come down a little bit. Now, rest assured, with all the activity in the last year, 2, 3 years, you're going to get a higher assessment, and you're going to end up paying a little bit more. So that's what happens. There could be an escrow shortage, but we try to go ahead, and you guys do too. We try to set it up, the borrower for success, so they know the most accurate amount based on the most accurate information we have at the time.
All right.
Right. Once it's reassessed a year from now, does not mean that things aren't going to change.
Lisa and I went through that with a new build not long ago in
We just
Chesterfield.
did.
Hey, I got a city treasurer says he's coming on the air with us in a few weeks. He says the system's
Where
a
is
little
he?
flawed, but no
Let's
names
go.
yet.
Where is he?
I can't give away. He's checking with the superiors to find out if he can come on the air. But
Good.
he did mention to me that the system's a little flawed out there with SCVs and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
We don't want to say that.
Well, he's not here.
He's not going to say that. We
He
can
won't
say that.
We'll
Right.
say it.
Okay.
All right, keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show. When we come back, all your calls, 248-539-9797.
The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Yeah. Welcome back. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Show. I'm Becky Alley here with Harry Glanz, Chris Dayton, and Amber Yecklin. We are wrapping it up here. It's February 16th, 2019. It's Valentine's weekend. Some people are going to be out living the life with their sweethearts and all that, but then they're also going to be looking at homes this weekend. And hopefully you'll be calling Amber and Chris to show you, call you, whatever it is that they need to do for your next home, whether you're going to purchase or list it.
Yeah, if you're lonely, call us. We'll match you up. We'll get you in love with a house.
Speaking of love, I did see a little statistic, right, that Metro Detroit has the highest singles that do not own homes, like 23%. I think like second is Baltimore under Charlotte, North Carolina. So 23, there's 23. Now single means.
So are you saying we have a commitment complex?
I think that we're like the millennials, right? It's a different mindset. So I don't think it's not so much they're not committed. It's just they're
taking longer.
They're not wifed up by the finger. They're wifed up by the heart.
I'm going
right?
to tell you right now, I'm going to give a huge shout out to my millennials, okay? Because they get a bad rap, but I'm telling you right now, they have figured out home buying because they are waiting to get the home that has all the features and benefits that they really want. It's not like years ago where you bought like your first home and it was like the size of a shoebox, and then 5 years later you upgraded, and then 10 years later you upgraded, and then you finally got like your mansion when you're 65. Like they are waiting.
Hey now.
Nothing against being 65 or having a mansion.
Hey now.
They are waiting and they're getting that kind of quote unquote forever home now.
Right. And like, okay, so I'm technically a millennial. Like I'm on the upper crest of that part, but whatever.
Elder millennial.
Yeah, I'm the elderly of the millennial group, I would say.
Yeah,
but you're right. Like
elderly.
if you think about it, like when in my mind in high school, right, it was 25. Like 25, I need to be graduated from college. I need to be married. I need to have kids. I need to, have my house. And it's just a different, and I bought my first house when I was 24. And now it's just a different mindset. And I think a lot of it is because it was so ingrained in us about, college, go to college first. You got to go to college. Well, now you graduated with $40,000 worth of debt, most on average. And so now that's, so they're staying home longer but they're also saving their money. And you're absolutely right when you said that they're not doing that 5-year house anymore. They're literally coming out of the gate, established. Some of them have families and, buying their first homes when they're 32, 33 and kind of, like you said, hitting that forever home right off out of the gate. And I wanted to ask you, are you seeing more where it's still that trend where they want that turnkey? Because I
Check for a student who couldn't otherwise afford it. Get more at 971theticket.com. Search Student Heart Check.
The Detroit Red Wings host the San Jose Sharks. Pre-game tomorrow at 2:40 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Right.
Because it was black.
See, we're talking about roofs here and everything else. We're back live, 97.1. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Oh, yeah. Little local music. We appreciate it. We'll go with the little kid. All right, keep it here on 97.1 all day long. We got sports coming up. We got the Tigers coming up with Dan Dickerson and Jim Price. That'll be a lot of fun. Just turning those guys on is going to sound like spring this afternoon, so keep it here on 97.1. Hey, Lisa, I want to drop all the different programs we have also. You know, reverse mortgages, as we were talking about downsides and we're talking about empty nesters, reverse mortgages can be used not only to refinance and use equity to get yourself straight, but also to purchase a house.
Yep.
We'll talk about that a little bit. Jumbo rates are unbelievably low right now.
They are crazy low. I mean, and we have a 15-1 arm. And for people that don't understand, that means your rate is locked for 15 years. And the rates are phenomenal on most of our jumbo products. I'm telling people right now, if you are in a jumbo product now and you're thinking about either wanting cash out or just refinancing, this is the time to look. And this is the time to get those inquiries out because I haven't seen rates this good in quite some time.
Yeah, jumbo rates are often by private investors,
Correct.
and they don't have to go through Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, so the rates are a little bit lower right now. And
that's for anything over
484, 350.
There you go, Harry. Bingo.
How
You
am I
got it
doing?
right on the number.
How am I
484,
doing?
350.
Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Hey, let's go to this call. We got
I'm
Christy.
a rookie in this business.
I got Christy up there calling in from, not quite sure where Christy's calling from, but we're going to go to her. Hey, Christy, you're live on the ticket. Go ahead.
Calling in from Bloomfield Hills.
Okay.
My mortgage company, my mortgage got sold to a mortgage company.
Yes.
And every month, my mortgage gets paid through Chase Bank.
Okay.
So it is, and I pay it religiously every month.
Right.
And so, first of all, my mortgage company takes it from Chase. They then notify me, we received your mortgage payment at whatever month it is.
Sure.
Okay. So then what happens is it gets to be about December or January every year, and they start claiming that they have not received payments, and they're going to start foreclosure, and I owe them money, and I don't owe them money.
So do you have
then what I do? Oh, go ahead.
Do you have an automatic payment set up through Chase? So it
Yes.
just without a glance does that?
Yes.
Okay, so all mortgage changes have to be sent to you by mail. And if they sent you something, like say it got sold to whoever, ABC Mortgage had it, now 123 has it, and your automatic payment through Chase is going to ABC. It needs to be changed in the system to go to whoever
was.
currently services or owns your mortgage.
was.
Oh, it was. Okay, so all right.
Yeah.
Can you do me a
So
favor?
that's-
Can you send that document that you have or that statement you have? I'd like to take a look at it so maybe I can make some calls on your behalf and we'll get to the bottom of it. The good news is if you had an automatic withdrawal from your bank account, you have proof that those payments have been made. And sometimes it can be as simple as just providing the the chain of direct withdrawals from
Right.
your account into making the payment. So I'd like to see the document that shows that they're claiming that you haven't made your payments, and I could help you with that.
Sometimes it's just not getting applied to the right account.
Yeah. So we'll contact you after the show and make sure that we get our hands on that document so we can go ahead and do what we do.
And to make sure it's not, something fraudulent. Someone
Yeah.
trying to get you to send them money to some
Okay,
other spot.
see, this is what I do believe. I just think that they're just trying to shake me down and get an extra payment on me every year.
Well, believe it or not, I'm going to tell you something. Believe it or not, banks and lenders and mortgage companies, they don't want 1 penny less or 1 penny more
really don't.
because it wrecks their whole system.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't want to. So they want to take exactly what the payment amount is because they want to balance. Unless, of course, you want to make more and add additional principal, and then that has to be accounted for. But in the banking and the mortgage banking world, that we like things that are just exact. So I don't know anybody's trying to get an additional payment. If you send me the document, I'll take a look at it. I'll go over it, and I'll go ahead and do my homework on it for you.
Christy, we thank you for
All
the
right,
call.
Thank you. you.
You got
Thank
it.
you so
for the
much.
call.
Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Again, if anyone's out there is listening, these are the type of things we'd like to help you with. It doesn't cost you anything. As Harry mentioned, you can send in, fax your information over to us. We can check it out for you. Sometimes make a few calls, and a lot of times we'll get a document. We'll say, well, you know what? We can really help you save some money here.
Well, something's
and that's
happen.
the key.
You know, when we pay off loans every single day. We pay off other servicers. We get statements. We pay it off. And then what happens is sometimes we'll pay something off, and then something will get crossed in the mail. It happens where your mortgage statement will go out, but we've already paid it off, so you'll get a statement that says you owe X amount of dollars. Just had this happen last night.
It happens on credit cards. It happens on anything.
And I got an email on it. It was as simple as, hey, we go ahead and we email our servicing department. We want to make sure that it was all paid off, and sometimes these things happen. I'm not saying this happened in Christy's case. I'm just saying that get me the document or us the document, and I'll go ahead and take a look at it and make some calls for
Harry, I've literally had maybe 5 servicing issues in 28 years, so it's something that's very rare.
But they happen.
They do happen.
And especially on taxes and insurance.
Right.
Okay, tax escrows and insurance escrows, it's going to happen. So go ahead, and that's why if you have a lender, if you have a relationship, go ahead and get them involved. They should be able to take care of it. Or if you want to send it to me, I'll be glad to look into it for you. I have no problem doing that.
All right, we got some business to take care of here. Hey, we're going to be out at the Cottage and Lakefront Living Show starting Thursday. It's awesome. Hey, you guys, if you're out there, we've got another show coming in. It's actually at that Suburban Collection Show place. So on one side of the building, they're going to have the boat show that's been bouncing around from Coboat, everywhere else. This is a great opportunity to really go take a look at everything in one day. You're allowed to go to both shows next week at the Suburban Collection Show place.
Are we going to be there?
We are going to be there. Capital Mortgage is there. If you want to talk about buying a second home, if you want to talk about buying a cottage, a lakefront home, on a golf course, you want to talk about anything mortgage related, definitely come on by and see us at the Capital Mortgage booth. Yep. Throw your name in the hat, and of course, I think we're giving away a TV or something. So we'll make it fun. Definitely go check us out at the Cottage and Lakefront Living Show. And let's go off to Greg. Greg, you got a question about PMI? Calling him from Pinckney. Good morning. Welcome to our show, Greg.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So I'll get to it. My wife and I have just listed our house, and we're set to make a decent gain on the sale, and we've got have differing opinions on what to do with that. She's in the camp of taking the bulk of it and putting a 20% down payment on the new home. I'm in the camp of taking as much as we need to pay off our credit card debt. So I guess my question is, what would be more wise and have more long-term ramifications?
Can I field this one?
Can we take a vote in here? I'm going to say
everybody's jumping at the opportunity.
Lisa wants to talk about this one. Go ahead, Lisa. I think it's simple math. Go ahead.
My favorite is all about credit and cash flow. So this is what I would do. I would find out your exact net. You can look at putting 20% down. You'll have all your monthly credit card payments still, or you can look at, you say PMI. There's also lender paid PMI and borrower paid PMI, meaning you could maybe put 5% down and still not have a monthly line item. Your payment will still be lower, and then you'd still have the bulk of that money that you're going to make on the house to pay off all your credit card. That would probably put you in the absolute best situation.
Yeah, I would tell you this. It's simple math for me. If you could borrow, if you could put 5% down, 10% down, whatever that number is, less than 20% down, and you can borrow at 4.5% to 5% and have money left over to pay off 18% credit card
Even
debt.
12% credit card debt.
The difference is the numbers right there.
So I would tell you that it
Pay
makes
off your
more
credit
sense to pay off your credit card debt, because now the mortgage interest that you're going to go ahead and accrue is also deductible up to $10,000, where zero of your interest on your credit card debt is deductible.
Right.
So that's the way I would go. And, of course, we'd take a look at the numbers for you.
Yeah, we'll spell it out for them and
we'll
show
put
you.
it down, and you'll take a look at it. But that's the way I would go.
I'll throw one other caveat. There's a lender-paid PMI program. You put 10% down and avoid PMI. Just take an 8 higher in interest rate if you have great credit. So we've got all those choices
so watch
for
this
you.
move. Your wife is right. Your wife is right. I pay off the credit card debt. Pay that debt off.
Hey, Dave, want to thank you for coming in. Dave McClain from Keller
Thank you very
Williams.
much for having me,
Always,
guys. Always a good time. Always
Thanks,
flies
Doug.
by.
Thanks,
you always bring
Dave.
this guy, and Doug Andrews. Always the greatest to have
Always
him
good to be here. Harry, Lisa.
Thank you.
I
Thank
still
you.
say I'm coming
Best
by to one of
managing
those real
broker
estate
around.
classes, though. I'm definitely coming by there.
We've got them going all the time.
All right, keep
New
here on
location.
97.1 The Ticket. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We got sports coming up here on 97.1 The Ticket. For Lisa Lawson, for Harry Glantz, I'm Harvey Freed. See you next Saturday.